I'm Annoushka Dukas, and I've been designing jewellery for 30 years and collecting charms for as long as I can remember. In this podcast, I will be asking a series of extraordinary women to tell me their life story in charms. Welcome to my life in charms. So welcome, Jamie Genevieve, founder of Vieve, to my life in charms.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm kind of beside myself. I can't stop clutching.
We've been trying to do this for ages,
I know.
haven't we? We really have.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's absolutely fantastic to have you here.
I'm delighted.
Gorgeous.
I'm very honoured to be here.
Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to start with your first charm. Mm-hmm. So your first charm is, you said that you wanted something that was basically reminding you of sitting in the car, in the back seat of your parents' car, watching your mum apply makeup. So for me, it's got to be about lipstick. Mm-hmm. You'll probably tell me it was something different, but I think it's lipstick, wasn't it?
I think lipstick's just the most iconic symbol of makeup, isn't it?
And all things feminine, all things, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think what I love about the fact that it's a lipstick is I can see my mum using her lipstick on her mouth, but then also patting it on her cheeks. And it was very it was quite scrappy, getting ready every day in a car mirror, that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people don't have the luxury of time in the morning sitting at a vanity. So watching my mum.
So was that on the way to school?
It was on the way. I just think it was on the way anywhere. I remember walking to school, so maybe not at school, but if we were going out for the day or if we were going to visit someone, she would always go with her little bag, and it was a modest little bag of makeup. I think sometimes people ask me, if I've loved makeup my entire life. Yeah. And that part of it, yes, but it wasn't like an abundance. It wasn't like a huge collection of the poshest things. And then
less is more.
Less is more, and also just making it work with what you have.
So I've designed this lipstick exactly as your packaging.
Yeah.
It's yellow gold, got black diamonds around the case, and the gold exactly as you'd expect the collar of the lipstick. Mm-hmm. It turns and the lipstick will go up and down.
That's so cool.
And I've kind of used a combination of dark red rubies to emulate the lipstick. So it's kind of micro pave, so lots of tiny little set diamonds, the rubies, sorry. And as I say, it'll turn. And it would, on the collar, I know you've got Vieve written on the stick of your lipstick, but on the collar it'd be lovely to have engraved Vieve.
Yeah, so nice.
I love the fact that you've got Vieve on the actual lipstick.
Oh no, it's fun, isn't it? All these little details.
Unusual. That's unusual, isn't it?
It's done in the industry for sure. Mm-hmm. But there's something that just adds an element.
No, it feels very luxurious and very
I love it.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's amazing. It's so cool to see the packaging. In jewellery, it's mad. It's great. I feel like for me, jewellery is such a huge love of mine as well. So this is just like a dream.
Oh, yeah.
So I really remember these bronzer pearls as well. That were she had them for a long time.
So that's in a kind of pot with the kind of little ball pearls. Is that what you mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And they had a really distinct smell. It was that kind of powdery, smell, and they were messy as anything. And then one of the products that I really remember would have been lip liner. So that would be before the lipstick, but she would take so long while the car was moving, doing it little bit by bit, and it would be tiny little sketches. And I remember as an adult doing her makeup, that precision and that kind of perfectionism, she would then turn to me when I was doing her makeup. She'd be like, this bit. And I'm like, oh, come on, Mum.
Well, even now?
Even now, yeah, even now.
Oh God.
I did her eye makeup for my wedding. She did the rest because she knows what she likes. Yeah. But I did her eye makeup for my wedding, and I was really nervous.
You were really nervous.
I was nervous.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So how do you think that made you feel as a child?
I think when you're a kid, especially a daughter.
Yeah.
When my mum was doing great, I was almost like, I'm doing great. Seeing her and it's the transformation for sure. Even though it was 5 products and it was easy, the way that she went in that car and when she started to do her makeup versus how she would carry herself when she would leave, you could almost see it was like putting herself together to be like confidence.
Yeah,
I think it's almost like a uniform. I think it's that confidence. It's the confidence, and you can tell in someone's posture and the way that they walk and the way that they. I think it's a little bit of time for yourself, even though it's in the front seat of a car.
It's so weird, isn't it? Because actually, when I'm always in that tearing hurry, so it's get on fast. But if I go out and I don't have any makeup, I'm definitely really conscious that I don't have any makeup. Do you ever? I want to know about you. Actually, do you ever not wear makeup?
Yeah, I do actually. I do quite a lot, and I wonder whether there's something deep in my brain that's I know I can do my makeup and I know I can be a certain way, which means it's like, it doesn't really matter if I don't do it today because I know that that's also me. So I do no makeup
but no makeup. Nothing.
Makeup, skincare always.
Right.
And there's actually one of the products that I gave you today, the little pot, the moisturiser. Yeah. Super Skin Nova is what I gave you. That something like that by itself, just to give my skin a radiance.
Right.
Quite like brushing through my eyebrows and a lip balm.
Oh, hang on. So you do those things?
Those things, yes. Okay. I don't think. I think I would always do something.
Yeah.
But it might not be outwardly makeup.
And out of interest, was that true before you started Vieve?
Yes, but I always just loved it so much that I really enjoyed that part of my day.
Yeah.
I didn't find it a chore. I got really excited to do it. And for a long time I would do kind of crazy things. I would do a lot of makeup or I'd try new things, and it's quite out there. Now I've got definitely my go-to face that I can do with actually 5 products, which is quite nice.
That is
it reminds me of my mum.
Yeah.
And I've got that, and Romy, my daughter, she watches me do that. And she loves to watch and she loves to help.
Of course she does.
Yeah, she loves to help, which is very sweet.
Oh, you do, I think I'm right in saying you do a lot in terms of your samples and things for the local community in terms of leading. Is that right?
We do a lot of...
It's just coming back to the confidence thing, because I think it's so important. And I've read that you really reach out to those communities.
We really care. We donate product, and there's tons going on at the moment because there's always more to do. Yeah. There's initiatives that are amazing, that are about women that are out of work getting into work, and getting the interview process, and about getting them clothes that they feel confident in, but also a little bit of makeup can do a huge amount. Especially I think the ripple effect of what makeup can give is just massive. It kind of knows no bounds. I know the way that I carry myself, again, when I'm put together, and you just never know what the knock-on effect is going to be of that, who you're going to meet, or how you're going to be able to speak, or how you feel about yourself, how your kids see you feeling about yourself.
Yes,
it's massive. So I think long gone are the days of feeling like beauty is a fickle thing or a silly kind of frivolous thing.
No, but when you were growing up, is that what you felt, that at school or the people around you felt that beauty was a frivolous thing?
I think maybe it was the marketing at the time. That's what I really remember, and it was like the kind of legacy brands of women that all look pretty similar, and products back then as well. Makeup was almost like face paint. There was no real ingredients in there to really enrich the skin, whereas everything nowadays, it's really important that it's got skincare benefits to it, because you're wearing it on your face all day. All day.
Absolutely.
I think the consumer's never been more clued up as well. They know what they want, and they look for brands that they can identify with, but also believe in, but also like the story. So I think that when I was growing up, it was maybe a place to play and have fun, but it was almost like
But it wasn't a career.
No, I didn't think so. And not in the way that it is now at all.
But I get, because interesting, you were talking about confidence and helping young women in trying to get a job. It said, because I did a lot of work with the King's Trust, which is a lot about giving confidence to young people. in fact, one of the courses that I don't know whether they still do, but they used to do, was getting into beauty and teaching young women how to, to do exactly what you're doing, how to do, put makeup on, etc. So that they could have a career in it, and whilst they're caring, etc., but also giving them that confidence. But it's just interesting whether at school, if you'd said, I want to go into beauty, whether they would have thought you were nuts.
Maybe. I remember there was beauty classes when I was in high school, but it was more about like maybe brows and lashes and waxing and things like that. I always knew I wanted to do something in art, but art's quite an isolated thing to me. When I think about art, I think about it being quite like, the self work. It's not very collaborative. Yeah. Maybe that's just the way that I like to do it. But when makeup's so different because you're with someone and you're actually in really close proximity to someone. So I really thrive on that. See the one-on-one, hour spent where we can just talk about anything. And it's the same as like a hairdresser. You go and you chat to your hairdresser, and sometimes you don't want to talk, so it's quite quiet, and that's lovely. They don't want to talk. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sometimes it's quite quiet, but then sometimes you just have something to share, or you have questions to ask, and that experience and that time spent, I loved it. And the one-on-one, I really loved. I got really energized by that, actually.
Oh God. Do you? So, at what point did you think this is going to be my thing?
Honestly, I think I thought this is going to be my thing like 4 times when I worked on counter. I loved it so much, and I started gaining a bit of an audience on social media, so people would come and find me, and I was making...
Yeah, but hang on a minute, hang on, because when did you work on counter? Because that wasn't your first job, though, was it?
No, my first job, I worked in a kids' soft play when I was 14.
Right.
And I would be at the front of these like 3-year-olds' birthday parties, making them all do the head, shoulders, knees and toes. Yeah. And serving toasties and chips. But I always wanted to work. I really liked working. Yeah. I really liked being, I guess it's that self-sufficient. And I wasn't that grown up. I remember my first paycheck went on a Nintendo.
Oh, that's been normal, wouldn't it?
But it was great.
Yeah.
But there's a funny story attached to that as well, because I saved up for over like 5 weeks or something, bought that. And then I dropped it down the toilet. I was in the bath. I was only 14. I dropped it down the toilet. I remember I went downstairs and I just said, Dad, I just got this, and I've just dropped it to the toilet. And do you know what he did? He took me in the car and he went and bought me another one. Oh. So it's like the perfect balance of work hard for what you want. Yeah. But I had this accident, and he was like, okay. No, but you've kind of,
so you deserved it.
Yeah. And I really remember that. Yeah. And there's a couple of times that my dad's kind of stepped in like that, but I went from soft play to working in retail to working in Lush, and I just kind of had like different jobs on the way through. But I started working on counter when I went to makeup college, which was when I was like 18 and a half.
Right.
18 and a half. It stands out to me because it was like...
Yeah, that's very precise.
Yeah, it is precise, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly when. I found makeup almost by accident. So I was in college doing an art course, and I ended up doing makeup because someone needed help for makeup to be on a model for their unit or whatever. But I was just doing it, and I just found my flow. There's an amazing book I talk about all the time called Ikigai. Have you read it?
No.
It's beautiful.
Ikigai.
Ikigai. It's a Japanese word, but it's the most beautiful book, and it's all about when you do what you love and you find your flow, everything just becomes easy. Even though it's hard, you're working hard, but it just becomes easy. But when I read that book, that kept on coming into my mind. When I found makeup, that's how it felt. Yeah. Things didn't feel sticky anymore, and I felt like I just kind of found what I wanted to do. So I was quite impulsive, and I went, I got into college to do makeup. I worked on counter, and I worked on counter for 4 years. And I thought I felt really happy there.
In a department store?
In a department store, I felt really happy. I was like, I'm making all my targets. I love my customers. I have fun doing this. And then I had an opportunity to go freelance, which is way more lucrative for a makeup artist, for sure. Yeah. But I was terrified to do it. I was like, oh no, but I'm comfortable here. And that's the kind of key thing that stands out to me when I get comfy. It's like, no, but I quite like it here. I just want to stay here. And then I kind of need a little nudge maybe from the people around me, but then I need to build myself up, and I need to make the decision myself because I'm quite stubborn.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So
That's only child too.
Oh yeah, totally. So I made the decision to go freelance, and then it was the best decision ever, and I had all this freedom, and I never worked so hard in my life. And then the same thing happened. I could be freelance where I felt really comfortable and really happy, or I could leave doing that and focus on the digital side of everything. So the exact same.
What year are we now then?
I think I was maybe 22. So
okay, so 10 years ago.
2015, 16.
Because you're what, 32?
I'm 32.
Yeah, so 10 years ago. So
yeah,
just as it was, I guess.
Yeah. Which is nuts because it was early on in the kind of digital space and how that was all working. I remember I had an Instagram account pretty early, and I was just posting my makeup because I loved it. And the fact that people that I didn't directly know were finding me and saying, "Oh my God, I love this. Can you teach me how to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I can." So it just felt like another way to serve my customer. That experience that I loved so much on counter, that one-on-one, and I keep on doing this because it's almost like there was a bit of hand holding, and whenever I remember doing makeup on someone and they just said, it's really lovely, but you always put your hand on my shoulder, and I really like it. So I would be doing makeup, but I'd have a hand on the shoulder as well.
Total reassurance. It's
and it was really beautiful, and I just loved it, and I still love it today. You know, we've got our shop. This is like the big full circle moment. We've got our shop open in Glasgow at the moment. And it's just the same thing. It's just that I feel the exact same, but then I have to remind myself that this is what I've made.
So is it just opened the shop?
We've done a pop-up for 5 years. No, 4 years, sorry.
Yeah.
And now it's open. We've done 4 months this year, which is the longest they've ever done.
Yeah.
But having our own space is really important because it's like coming into our world, like I said. Yeah. It's like the world building, and it's creating a space that I wish I'd had when I loved makeup and I was younger. Or I hear it from our customers all the time of all ages that they wish that they had a place that felt like that was so reassuring and calm, but still cool. Yeah. And it still worked, and the products felt great. But there was I got a message the other day, and it's like the customer loved it so much they just wanted to go in and be like, "Can you just help me out? I just want to sit here and I want to talk about it, and we'll go through everything." And she said there was no snobbery and there was no
that's so
it's beautiful.
That's so wonderful, because that's such a hard thing to achieve. I mean, you can imagine it's really hard to achieve in the jewellery shop where everything has to be under glass. But even in makeup, because I always think it's quite threatening to go to somebody and say, "Can you help me?" Yeah. Because I'm either thinking they want to go and sell me a whole load of product I don't necessarily want. But it is quite kind of, I think it's quite kind of threatening.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think even down to like when you go in our shop, there's textures, like the rugs on the floor feel homey, they're not clinical. Yeah. And the lighting, I'm kind of nuts about lighting. No big lights ever. Don't like big light. So we've got good lighting for seeing makeup, but it doesn't need to be fluorescence.
Yeah. Which makes it look dreadful.
Yeah. Scents as well. You know, it was strange, the working on scents for the brand. Because it's always in my house, the smells, it just reminds me of home. So when I walk into the shop, I'm always like, "Oh, it smells like home."
Yeah, at home. That's so it environments, everything. Yeah. But it's quite interesting though that you kind of you'll feel the need to have a physical presence when you've built your brand entirely digitally, haven't you really?
Yeah. I think digital, it gave us the reach, which is really cool. And I think that part of having the store that I find exciting because of social media, it's not just limited to the customers that can visit right there and then. If we're sharing it on social, that gives the customer that finds us online a sense of who we are in real life as well. Yeah. It's also like the crossover is massive now. You can kind of get that retail experience online. And makeup is so tactile, but because of videos and the way that you can showcase products online, you almost bridge that gap.
You're very lucky. How could I do that in jewellery? Maybe I need.
You're doing the most amazing job. I think the storytelling's fantastic. I think showing that there is real heart in it, and I just love. I think it's brilliant.
Well, you're very kind. It's very hard to do because when you look at my jewellery, you know it moves and it does different things, and it's not as static as it might appear. Yeah. But it's so hard to do that just on the websites. Yeah. It's a whole different world. Anyway, maybe I need a bit of a masterclass from you. So this charm is a camper van, and I really, really love the idea of a miniature camper van where it's a kind of 3-dimensional, but it's absolutely miniature. The wheels all turn, the doors open. I haven't quite worked out how the roof can come up so that you could quite work that out yet. But it could be a locket, I guess.
Oh wow!
But now you've told me that was white. I had actually put it kind of in white gold so that the roof, the windows, the doors the door frames would all be in white gold. And the actual main body I had put in orange sapphires, because in my head those camper vans orange always. Or red.
Yeah.
But actually it'd be nice with diamonds all round it if it was white. It would be absolutely gorgeous. And the wheels and all the little details are kind of black and gold, so black rhodium. And they all spin. And then there's quartz, kind of clear quartz in all the windows. And the number plate, I thought it'd be really fun to have the number plate with whatever it was, or even with your initials on it.
Yeah.
But and at the front, you look at it at the front. It's a V. In my case, it was a VW.
Yeah,
was it
right.
a VW
camper
van? So I think we'd have to put the logo there exactly as the VW logo appears, and then the headlights. I think we'd absolutely have to put little citrine headlights to make it feel really, really gorgeous. But I just think it'll be so sweet, and you'll be able to play with it. You'll be able to push it along with it.
I think I'd have to share that one with Romy.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. The camper van, I talk about that all the time. It's such
such an important.
It was so important, and it was like I really remember the same feeling of being in the back of the van with my mum and dad up front, and I think it must have been we did it twice actually. We went travelling in that camper van, and the feeling of lying on this upholstered bed that I think it's illegal now to actually sit in the back of a.
I think it probably is. You're like strapped in like.
But at the time it was fine, and my mum reupholstered it herself with this like fuzzy, cozy fabric. I remember I love summer clothes because of that trip, and I remember just lying there with either my book, or I loved games. I loved playing my little Game Boy and things. But whenever I'd look out the window, it would just be mountains and lakes and sunshine, and we'd stop off on the way. And I think that for me, it was that feeling of someone had put the effort into giving me that experience. I was always really conscious of that. Like I felt so looked after, and it's the best memory for me.
But do you, in terms of kind of, you were playing on your Game Boy and reading your books and stuff, but was that a moment for kind of daydreaming or not really?
Totally. I think I actually still read this kind of similar books now, but I've always read books that are like another world, like a lot of fantasy and a lot of like complete like world building's amazing. And actually, when I think about it now, building a brand's kind of like world building in itself, right?
World building.
World building.
Is that a game though as well?
No, actually, yeah, it is. And a lot of the games I would play would be other worlds as well. So it was just, I think it made me. Maybe it's slightly delusional in a good way that that's actually not that far away. So you can actually kind of create whatever it is that you want. I really, and I think maybe there was something to do with, all of those things together, feeling like you're in a bit of a different world, and it was quite magical, all the places that we would travel to.
Was it in England? Was it Scotland or?
Scotland, Scott always lived in Scotland, but what really stands out to me is whenever we travelled, I think travel's always been hugely important to me, because the slight kind of changes in the nuance between people when you travel. Yeah,
but when you going back to that, so you were travelling in Scotland or all over Europe, or in this camper van? Where were you going?
We did quite a lot of camping and travelling in Scotland, but the trips that stand out to me, we went round Europe twice for 3 weeks. So it would be like our big summer holiday, and we would stay in this camper van, and it was I can't remember exactly. I think it was a T1, which means that the roof would go up and I would sleep in the roof.
I know what those are. Yeah. You sleep in the roof?
I would sleep in the roof. That was my bed. And in the summer, actually, it was absolutely roasting hot. But there was something about as well getting out the camper van and just being in nature. And even in camp, I just remember running around barefoot all the time, which as an adult I now understand is actually hugely important. We should all
be doing that. Every morning,
more often,
in the wet grass.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next charm is an olive branch, and immediately you saw that, you were like, "Oh, I love that."
I just love it.
But I think the the olive is got, as I said, it's got so much kind of meaning, whether it's friendship, victory, peace.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, no, did you not know that?
No, I didn't.
Abundance,
Love that.
all of that kind of life's richness. Like, I always see abundance as that, if you think about olives and making the oil. And anyway, so I absolutely love the olive branch.
Yeah.
And we've got actually, I've done a kind of almond and similar, because I love that. But I've designed this, so you've got to imagine that it's a piece of the branch that's come off. And it's yellow gold. All the leaves are articulated, so the leaves come off the main kind of tiny branch, really. But they're all textured exactly as you'd expect them. But actually, olive leaves are rather lovely in that they're not very textured, but they're veined. You can see the veins. And so each one articulates independently. And most importantly, I put 3 Baroque pearls. So, in terms of representing the olives, because again, I think that's femininity, and there's something just gorgeous about that. And actually, if we were going to make this charm, it'd be really lovely to engrave your wedding day on the back. I think that would be lovely. But can you tell me about why? I mean, I know I've done an olive because you refer to it a lot in what you told me.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
talk to me about your wedding day. And
it was just gorgeous. It was just a dream. And actually, the process, I remember it being quite relaxed. Maybe it's because I was quite relaxed. There were certain details that I was like, it's okay. And we had a planner that was amazing. But we got married in Tuscany, and we actually chose that location without even having visited yet. We just knew. But we went over and looked at venues, and we found just the perfect one. And our wedding was small. It was 60 people, but it was 3 nights. And it was, it wasn't like over the top, indulgent, extravagant. It was very us, and it was very home. So we had like a pizza party, and there was just all these garlics and tomatoes hanging off the ceiling, and it was just beautiful. But the olive trees, I remember, every time we're in Italy, which we're lucky enough to have gone quite a lot, because it's just our favourite place. First place we took Romeo on holiday and things, and the olive trees. And I think maybe it's the olive oil, it reminds me of cooking, it reminds me of growing up. There's so much that's tied into this one little symbol.
Yeah.
And then the fact that Jack got me an olive tree for our 1-year anniversary, and that tree's been like kind of through a journey. There was a time it didn't look very good. It was quite cold outside, and I just never thought we could bring it inside. And I really love my plants. The plants in our house are looked after. We've got these huge monsteras and birds of paradise and things. I really love them. But we brought the tree inside, and it's like a weeping olive tree.
Yes.
So it's all kind of messy and wild, but it's growing all these brand new leaves,
new life.
And it's at the bottom of our bed. Yeah. So we've got our bed, and then it's in the window in our bedroom. Yeah. But it just, every day, I just love it. And I look at it and I think I'm really proud of it. And maybe it's kind of like the journey of the tree. I'm really proud of the journey of us.
So just tell me a bit about before you got married. So how long had you known each other? And, tell me a bit about where you were in your life when how did you meet?
So the first time I met Jack, I was 15. I know, so I was super young.
Wow.
And that's just the first time I clapped eyes on him. I didn't really even speak to him, but I really fell in love with him. Like straight away.
Yeah, love at first sight.
Yeah, yeah. Really? And I was just a bit like, oh my God, he's the most beautiful boy I've ever seen in my life. And we took that trip to Paris, hence the Eiffel Tower tattoo. But we took that trip to Paris. We ended up becoming together, getting together, boyfriend, girlfriend. We ended up moving in together a few years later, and it was a really fun story that I'm sure he won't mind me sharing. But I remember I got a flat, the cheapest flat ever. My mortgage was £220 a month.
Oh my God, if only.
It was great.
If only.
But I remember I felt proud of myself, and I was showing up, and I did the work, and I did a good job, and then I was going home, and when I got home to the flat, Jack was in the house and he said, "Do you want to see a surprise?" And I was like, "Yeah, go for it." And I remember he'd ran me a bath and I was like, "Oh, that's really lovely." And then he opened the wardrobe and he went, "Surprise!" And all his stuff was just in the wardrobe.
Oh,
And it was
my
like,
God.
"I've moved it." And then he gives me, you know, a fistful of cash for half the month's rent and bills and everything like that. And then that was just it. And I remember thinking, "Oh, I live with a boy."
Oh my God, that is so romantic.
But it's for me. I think some people that story would send them running, but for me it was like the dream, because I was like, he's so chosen to be here with me, and this is so nice. And it was a conversation, but I felt very cool about it because I was like, yeah, maybe one day. And then he appeared. I was like, this is perfect.
Oh my God, that is so romantic.
Yeah, it's nice.
Absolutely wonderful. But so then anyway, you in the meantime, I'm trying to get my head around as Vieve, the genesis, the ideas for Vieve. Where are we in that?
So not there yet.
Presumably you're in about 2017, 18, something like that.
It's early on. I always wanted my own brand from working on counter, so that that was always a dream. But I was just always really good at pushing it down and being like, that's not for me though. Right. You know, I just had it in my head that I'm not. I didn't go to uni. I didn't have any kind of business acumen. I didn't know how. Yeah,
you do absolutely none of that. You think I can't.
What absolute spirit crushers! Like it's, and I just think I convinced myself that I'm from a small town in Scotland. It's not for me. You know, that's for people that already know what they're doing, or they've got people that can help them get there. Or, you know, I didn't have anyone in my life that could help with that side of things. When it came to confidence and thinking. You know, thinking that I could really do anything, I definitely got that from my parents and my mum in particular. But I just kept on kind of squashing that dream down. And then it wasn't until I was working, you know, I was working really hard. It was an amazing job. It's an easy job, but any job, you can work hard at any job. So I was working really hard. In my kind of digital career, you know, as an influencer in the social media space, and I've always been quite frugal, so I was just saving as much as I could. Yeah. And then I got, you know, when it started to get to the point where I was like, oh my God, maybe I could actually fund this. Maybe I could actually, if I put my head down. And I always had these ideas. And there's certain parts of my job that I find quite easy, like product. I find quite easy. It's quite intuitive, and you know, like I can tell by feeling something if it's going to work or not. Yeah. And then we can tweak it to make it brilliant. And I think I started just kind of slowly building myself up internally to be like, you can do this, you can do this. And my audiences actually started asking as well. They were like, you would make such a great brand, because they knew me for only talking about the products I thought were so good. Yeah. And I also would say, you know, I would never focus too much on the stuff I didn't like, but I would explain what kind of things I didn't like and why. Right. And you know, my audience would be like, oh my God, me too. So that constant conversation with my audience online, all that time on counter, which I worked it out, and it's thousands and thousands of faces, thousands and thousands of conversations and people that really energized me, made me excited about the industry, but also what product could be and what a brand could be. So I had all this going on in my head. I was, you know, really starting to think about saving as much money as I could. And then one day I just decided, no, I'm going to start working on it. I'm going to start working on it today, because it's going to take time. And if I keep on putting it off, you know, I may as well try now. Yeah. So I did, and I hired, you know, my friend. We started working together really early on. And
that's quite brave. You hired somebody. You could afford to hire somebody at that point.
Yeah, so it was a bit, I suppose, because I had one business already that was doing that. You know, it was good.
That was the makeup and doing that. Yeah, that was earning money doing that.
Yeah, but I also just yeah, and she was fresh out of uni, and Charlotte, you know, she just we kind of had worked together a little bit already on like little projects, but I was like, I really want to do this with you, and we got on. You know, she's one of my best friends, but we got on really well, and there was like such a mutual respect for what each other did, and she just knew what I meant. And
she's different to you, so you're the creative.
So she's actually creative too.
Okay,
but she interprets my vision and makes it something that you can see,
concrete, visual.
Yeah. And also she you know, her role's amazing. It's amazing. She's grown within the business so much that she's got her own team, and she's on mat leave just now, but hopefully when she comes back. And it makes me nervous.
Go on.
But we I was just ready, and I got to the point where, you know, the name was hilarious, because Vieve is just Jamie Genevieve. It's still the second part of my middle name, but It took me ages.
But it also means something, doesn't it?
It means joy of life.
Yeah.
Which is gorgeous.
You absolutely are that person. It's so wonderful.
I say to my mum and dad, I say to my mum and dad all the time, I'm like, thank you so much.
For my name.
For my name. For my name.
Yeah.
And
anyway, so you came up with a name, but I understand that now. Yeah.
The first collection we launched was super, it was selfish for me and my community because we liked this stuff and we wanted this.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where we were, figuring out all the parts that I didn't understand. I didn't want to be the CEO. I was quite comfortable not being the CEO because I think I saw early on that it's just not where I'm strong. It's not where I want to pretend as well. I don't want to have to pretend every day that I know more than I do.
Yeah.
Learning is the best. Always learning in every aspect of my life. So, there's so much that the team teach me every day. But I've got an amazing CEO that worked with me from before the brand launched.
Right.
So it was, a wee bit into the process of coming up with everything and what I wanted it to be that I realised I needed a CEO.
Can we just pause 1 second?
Yeah.
I want to know. So actually, when you hired Charlotte, how much money did you have did it start? Did you need to start a business?
I think
approximately.
Oh my God! Well, actually, how much would I have needed to start the business? Because of the minimum order quantities.
Yeah, because I'm imagining it.
But I had so many waiting. So this is the thing. I thought I had enough money. I didn't.
Right.
So I had to get investment.
Yeah.
So I had enough money to maybe buy like the smallest amount of product.
But
possible.
we're talking 10 grand, 50 grand?
No, it was a quarter. I've never said this before, but it was £250,000.
Oh, okay. So we're talking a lot.
It was a lot. It was a lot, and it was.
But that's so extraordinary that you were able to do that.
Crazy,
having worked all of that time.
It freaked me out. It really freaked me out.
Freaking me
no,
out.
It really freaked me out because I was like, I actually don't know what I'm doing, and I knew, and actually that was all my money, and I just squirreled it away. And I'd figured it all out. I used to do this on counter as well. On Sundays when it was quiet, I would sit and do all my life admin when I was waiting in between customers. And I would sort out all my money. I'm a Virgo moon, so I'm very like this. And I would sort out my life. And then at the end, I'd be like, I'm done. I can do this. So the $250,000, I still put all my money in.
It is absolutely extraordinary that you were able to do that.
I know.
And save that whilst you were working. That is utterly extraordinary.
It's crazy, and it's the industry that I was in. It's a crazy industry, and I loved it so much, and I couldn't believe it was my job because I was getting to talk about the products that I loved anyway. Like it was just a bit of a dream situation to be honest. And I know that I can see an aeroplane on there. I got to travel so much, and it was my dream.
Yeah. So that brings me really neatly onto your next charm, which is an aeroplane. Mm-hmm. So this is absolutely as perfect as replica as I can get of a jumbo. Mm-hmm. Because I think you said you've been on a plane to Japan, and actually it was quite an important moment.
Yeah.
But it's yellow gold. All the windows are just one little diamond, and where on the wings where the propellers are. Because just some upside down diamonds, because I like the idea that the propellers will spin. Mm-hmm. And I just like the idea of the light. So tell me why travel has been so important in your life.
I think from our conversation that we've just had, and we talk about time alone, there's something about being on a plane that makes me really happy, even when I'm with other people or with my husband or even with my daughter, that there's something about being so high up and away from everything that it feels like real time alone to me. And that's where I start to daydream.
But thank God, I mean, so now you're not tuning into the Wi-Fi that they now have, because all of that is not the same.
And then I sometimes I lie and I say it's not working. It's not working. No, it's a time of like, so much reflection for me. And there's something as well, one of my favourite sights is out an aeroplane window and see the kind of sunsets and the sunrises I've seen. I've been so lucky to see the places that I've seen and travel the places that I have. it just, there's so much that comes out of a flight for me, and I love the idea. I love a long flight. So getting on and thinking, right, okay, I've got 11 hours, and I've been very lucky as well to sit in nice seats on a plane, which absolutely ruins you.
It helps.
But I'll have like a movie. I'll watch a movie, but then I'll get my notebook out or my journal, and I'll start writing. And there's so many good things happen to me on planes when it comes to the ideas that I have or decisions that I make, or just the trip that we're going on. And I remember that the trip to Japan in particular, it was after we got married. I knew Vieve was coming.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was on the precipice of everything I've ever wanted. And then COVID hit, and actually I still got everything I ever wanted, which is very, very lucky. But
COVID probably really helped you.
It was just wild because that happened in March, and we were meant to launch that April, and then because of a few reasons we pushed it back to November, and I can't imagine doing it another way now, because everyone was on their phones, and I lived on live. Like I would go on live every day and do my makeup and just chat, because again I really love people and talking and connections, so it was kind of perfect.
It's kind of interesting because of course COVID, ironically, must have been the one time where people were absolutely on their phones and also on Zoom calls all day. So they had to look great,
staring at themselves more than ever probably.
It's a bit like jewelry. They say that earrings and necklaces
went
that's
hilarious,
because they were permanently looking at it. It's interesting, isn't it?
It's fascinating. I can't really imagine being any other way now, but there's the travel. That's something actually during COVID that I missed so much. I get so much inspiration from travel, and there's eyeshadows that I've made that are inspired by colours I saw in Italy that I took pictures of and took away and sent to the lab, and there's just a lot comes from me from seeing the world. And I remember this quote, and it made me feel very focused, but it also broke my heart at the same time. And it's when you have kids, the world's only as big as you show them. And I was like,
that is a really beautiful quote.
Powerful, right? So it took me I'm so guilty of getting into the routine, and it's like we do this, then we do that, then we do that. It made me actually do the hard thing and think, right, where can we go and what? And it's not about going on holiday all the time. It's just about what would be something that she will so enjoy. And it's like being in the middle of a forest, even if the weather's a bit crap, So
those are life experiences that shape you.
I really remember playing hide and seek with my mum and dad in the Botanic Gardens in Edinburgh. And it wasn't even the fact we're in Edinburgh or there was cool hedge mazes. It's because they were playing with me. That reminds me. So I quite like those reminders. So the plane actually really reminds me of that quote, which I love.
I love that quote. But you mentioned journaling. You're a big journaler?
I am.
Have you always done that?
No, not at all.
So is that because they say that journaling is very good for stress and anxiety and all of those things. Does that come from any of that, or?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think there was two huge shifts in me, two big. I think it's like growth periods for me, and it was when I launched Vieve, and then when I became a mum. And I think that it's such an opportunity to really look at yourself and be, who do I want to be as a founder, and then actually on a bigger scale, it's like who do I want to be as a mum raising a child. And journaling for me is it's really great for stress. It's really great to clear my head. So as soon as I start feeling like some things are swimming around, I'll get a notebook and pen, and it's quite important that it's pen and paper.
Okay.
And I hadn't written physically down for a really long time. So I was a bit like, what is this? I really enjoy it, and there's loads of different fun kind of exercises you can do. I sound like a teacher.
Well, no, I didn't do any of this, so I'm absolutely fascinated. Go on. So
it's great. So there's one exercise that I love that I would encourage anyone to try, and it's writing a letter to yourself from your future. So almost like where you are, what is it that you really want, and where do you want to be, and you really write about the five senses. So you think about what you can see with your eyes, what you can feel on your body, what are you wearing, what can you smell, and how do you feel, and you go into huge amounts of detail and be really clear about what you want and how that feeling is. It's like your dream basically, but you can start to feel it in your body. And see, when you can start to feel it in your body, that's like you're like energetically, I think, the way of you saying, right, I'm ready for that to happen for me. And it's a great thing to read out loud to yourself. It feels ridiculous. And especially if you're anything like me, I felt a bit shy. I was like, I don't want to read it out loud. It's crazy.
Just to yourself, no, not really to Jack.
Just speak it out loud. And then if you've got someone that would love to hear it, then absolutely read it out loud to them. But just read it before you go to bed as well. And then see if that's the last thing that you put in your brain before you go to sleep. Your REM sleep. Are you religious about it? Do you do it every day? No, not every day.
When you've got something to say.
When I've got something to say, or when I'm really clear. I think that's something that I used to want so many things for myself and my family, and I wasn't super clear about it. But I've learned that, see, if you're not really clear, the universe doesn't really know what to do with you, and it's like, you don't know what you want. I can't give you any of this. So I just really like it. It's a bit magic, I think.
I know. I've heard a lot of people saying that they do a lot of journaling.
If someone found my journal, I'd honestly be absolutely beside myself. I'd be like,
would you?
Yes.
Yeah, would you? Yes. Oh God, that's so interesting. I was going to ask you something totally not about that, but it is about that actually, because if people are listening, I've read that you absolutely abhor the idea that you might be an influencer, but you have got this enormous following. How do you?
Did you read that in that BBC article?
Yeah, I think I did.
Oh my goodness, that article haunts me actually. I never said that.
Okay.
I never said that.
Because I'm like that. How's that going?
Oh no, I don't abhor it at all. I think there's a bit of a divide on. Someone said a professional recommender. I really like that. A professional recommender.
Okay. Better than influencer.
Turned into a dirty word. Yeah. Because there was a huge breadth of person that could be an influencer, and it could, not always for the right reasons or the right things. No, I'm really proud of my digital career, being an influencer. I had the best time. It's when that article came out and it had in quotation marks, "Don't call me an influencer." I was like, brilliant. Perfect.
Okay, because hence my question, because I'm like, surely your business has been built on.
No, absolutely. And I think actually it would be hurtful to the peers and the other people in the industry that have made something of themselves. It's a really common thing to talk about within that community, the word influencer, and if it's a dirty word, or it's almost, it reminds me a little bit of like girl boss. Yeah. There was a huge era of girl boss, right? And now when you say that out loud, it's a bit like, oh. So I think it's just the same as anything. It kind of goes through a bit of a journey, but I didn't say it with the kind of passion and gumption that the article.
No, okay. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
No, I'm glad we
cleared that up, because it was surprising to me. I
said it off the cuff at the very start as a joke, and it ended up the headline.
Okay, well, we've cleared that up.
The way.
Now your final charm, Jamie. So I love that, and you said, the day our daughter Romy was born, and the 8 weeks that came after, that's what you wanted to remember. Yeah. I'm going to describe. Well, I think the best thing is actually for me to just to talk about what you've written.
Okay. Yeah.
You said Romy's a Taurus, so I always see her as the earth beneath my feet. I'm a Cancer, and Jack's an Aries. We tell the story that Mum is like the ocean, Romy's the sandy beach, and Daddy is the bonfire to keep us warm. I just think that was so, it's so lovely. Yeah. So I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to, look.
No, I joked, I texted my husband and I was like, I'm not going to be able to come up when we talk about this one.
I found it really, really touching. And I really struggled to work out how I was going to do it. Do you want a tissue?
Yes. When I was writing it, I think it was actually when I was writing all of it, but these are all just such pivotal moments, and that to me, it really, there's something about having Romy and even just that story and the understanding of, maybe that's why I love star signs so much, because it is a deeper way to try and understand someone. Yeah. And I really like that. And a lot of people think it's woo-woo, and I totally, that's absolutely fine by me. But being able to understand someone and meet them where they're at is such a power. Yeah. Because you can, I know Romy's stubborn, so I just don't try, I just let her be stubborn. It's great. I know that I'm emotional, hence the cry.
There's a bin there. Thank
you.
In case you need it. Anyway, so I'm going to try and describe this charm, which I found really, really hard. To how was I going to make this these lovely words come to kind of something tangible. So I've done it because I have a whole spinning series of my charms, which I think you probably know. So the frame is static, and the frame is kind of north, south, east, west. So you can see there's little diamonds on each of those places, and then inside it's a spinning, almost just a circular, almost like a very soft, very tactile coin, but not engraved, but actually, gosh, I don't even know the word now. But almost kind of embossed out of the metal is the sun on one side of this coin, with the sea below, and the sun has got a citrine in it, and the rays of the sun you can see there are engraved out. And then there is a little bonfire, also all just carved into the gold, and the fire from the bonfire is also just part of the. It's really a picture, so it goes back to your art, I guess. And then you can spin it, and round the other side is the constellation that represents Romy in Taurus. So it's very playful, and it's great. It's very, very difficult to describe, but I know it'll be beautiful. But it's hard to describe. But it'll be very tactile. So, can you just tell me more about this?
I think. Have you ever had anyone cry before?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Great. I think for me, it goes back to what I was saying, understanding people for who they are and kind of loving that. I think that story, I quite like harmony, and I quite like balance as well. So I think that we all balance each other out, even though Romy's just so tiny still. But me and Jack definitely balance each other out. I'm a Cancer, so I'm water, and he's Aries, so he's fire, right? Yep. And I think family's just always been so important to me, always. And I think that so much comes from the home for me. A lot of the stories that I've got is more about feelings that I've had in that moment. But I think it's, as a person, I'm really emotionally in tune and intuitive as well. But there's an emotional intelligence that comes with being a makeup artist that makes you a really good one.
Is that because you're close to people too?
Yeah, I think so.
That kind of feeling of getting the vibes from somebody, whether they want to talk or they don't want to talk, or is it about that?
I can almost guess, and I can almost when it came to, even you mentioned it yourself, when you walk into a shop and then you just feel like you're getting hard sold to. Yeah. I could tell pretty quickly if someone was there and they were like, I'm here to have fun and I want to buy like a bunch of new makeup, and then we'd lean in that direction. But I can also tell if someone just wants to be a small part of that brand for that day. So they've maybe not got, when it comes to business and the commercial side of things, it's all about sales and money. And actually, I believe in the relationship so much that if someone's not got the money to spend that day, then give them a brilliant experience and they'll come back when they do.
Absolutely right.
And I'd rather that and invest in our customer, and just see I think maybe that's the difference in our brand as well, and maybe me, but the humility that comes through, because I'm a big bleeding heart. I care about people, and I have more fun hearing about what my customers do themselves. They're so cool. Everyone's got their own huge big lives, and I love hearing about what they do and what they care about. And they'll tell me, it's just the most amazing thing. They'll tell me they're going on holiday for the first time themselves that next week, and they're coming to treat themselves to some stuff, and we'll talk about how that feels and how exciting, and talk about people's jobs and careers and what they've chose to do. So many people choose to move country, and I love that so much.
So it's so interesting because that's what we're doing over this. We're talking about all of those things and market in by charms. Mm-hmm. But it's so interesting that you can do. I hadn't really thought about that, but you can do that over makeup.
Yeah,
kind of
It's just
so interesting.
It's just this connection, right? It's lovely.
Yeah.
And I think jewellery for me is a huge one. I think we've shared as well that all my Annoushka bits that I have so far have been gifts from my husband.
I know, I love that.
And they're just such a prize. It's such a prize collection.
And did he discover it first, or did you discover it first?
I think I found the cans. I think it was actually the cherub. But what was quite interesting, I was thinking about this. I don't think I was recommended it or I saw it by someone else. I think I found you by myself
On
Google. It must have been Google, like looking for a certain type of thing. I think I wanted to.
That's even more fantastic. So we do something right.
The mythology, yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I just totally fell in love in the charms and how beautiful it was and how crafted.
Oh, thank you. Well, you do a great job of modelling it. I'd absolutely love seeing it like that. But just now that you're a mummy, and how, I mean, the balance, because you're running a big business. So how, and Jack's involved, and actually, so how are you managing to balance all of that?
I have a really amazing support system. So both my parents and Jack's parents are really on hand.
Yeah,
Romy loves them both. She sees my mum and dad a lot. Jack and I are really good because of that first 8 weeks. We had that completely together.
Yeah.
So we learned how to do everything together. So it wasn't like 2 weeks of paternity and then he goes off to work. So
8 weeks, you both stopped working.
Yeah. Right. And then we went back, but it was almost like we kind of took turns and it just worked really well. I crept back into travelling again, and I think the business side of things, knowing, again, having a brilliant team around me, I'm not trying to do everything myself.
No.
I'm not. I understand how a founder could feel that way, to be able to get the most merits for what they're doing, or to really feel like it's theirs, and it's like there's a controlling aspect of wanting to make sure everything is as you would like, that when you start giving that away, you know, I had a question of, oh God, is it really like mine to celebrate anymore? But I think the beautiful thing is it's the team's to celebrate and mine to celebrate. It's my brand, and this is, you know, everything has come from me, and I know that. But having a brilliant team that are so much better than me at what they do, fly and feel like accomplished in that, it just makes me look good as well.
100%. It's one of the, I'm often asked that question. I think one of the biggest learning for me is, if you possibly can, to employ people who are better than you.
Yeah.
It makes your life so much easier.
So much easier. So when I think about having the time, you know, I'm really good as well at putting my phone down. I understand that in front of Romy, you know, no one needs me, especially in the morning. We get up so early. I don't need to be on my phone until 9. Right. I really don't. Right. So it's quality time then, and the weekends as well. We dedicate really great quality time with Romy. I think her life's really rich by the village that it is. But mummies are always the favourite.
I love that. I love that idea of a village.
Yeah, it's really important.
It's a very powerful word, that, isn't it? Because there are lots of people that help to make it all
totally
happen.
It makes me think. I think often I think about how lucky I am and how lucky Romy is, and it makes me think about people that don't have the resources or access, and it feels like so unfair to me, because it just makes everything so easy. So it's something that I wish for everyone.
It's been such a joy to finally meet you, and honestly, I could chat all day long, but I'm conscious that you'll be all time.
No, I just loved it. Honestly, I can't tell you how thrilled I am, and I think anyone that knows me already will know how thrilled I am to be here.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to make you one of these charms.
I can't believe it.
Thank you. So I'm like, well, which one?
I know.
You know which one?
I know. Do you know what? I'm a bit torn. I'm torn. I feel like
I did a very good job of describing.
No, I think it has to be. I think it has to be the one that brought out.
I couldn't describe.
Well, yeah, but I think it's just too gorgeous. I love them all. I think it's really hard. I think it is actually. I love the VW camper van, but I wonder whether because it's orange. But I keep on going to these. But I think. Do you have other makeup charms on your website already?
No.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, interesting.
No, we don't, because most of the charms that I do, they've got kind of they've kind of represent something, a meaning, or protection, or something that is kind of, because jewelry is a bit like, as I was saying about tattoos,
isn't it?
Kind of, it is talismanic, and so there hasn't been a real reason for me to do lipstick or
of course.
What would it be? No, I don't know what I'd do. But I can always make you others. Cool. By the way,
I think. Am I choosing one now?
Yeah, you got.
Okay.
Choose.
I think for me, I have to choose the. Oh God, but I really do love the olive tree and everything that stands for. I think it is what's the birthstone of June. Is it Pearl or Mercy?
I think Pearl isn't July. But what we could do with the olive is we could work a way that we can put Jack and Romy into it, because actually the three olives themselves all kind of representative of you three.
Yeah.
So we could do that. I could find a way. I don't know what the birthstone is for June. I'm sure I should know that.
I think I've looked this up before. I know that April's a diamond. I know that Taurus is maybe green. I feel like May might be green.
But I could definitely.
What one did you intuitively want to make the most? Did you have a favourite?
No, because they're all about kind of what they mean to you. I mean, I love the olive, because I think the olive will be.
I love what it stands for.
Yeah.
I really love what it stands for. I think. Oh no! I think I have to pick this one. See that big reaction?
The one, yes, the one that made you cry.
The one that made me cry.
Okay, so the spinning.
I just love it,
and it'll be much more beautiful than the way I described it. By the way,
it's going to be
really hard to describe.
Oh no, I bet. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I love it. Yeah, perfect.
Oh, how exciting!
It's so exciting. I can't believe it.
And it's so lovely that you reacted like that, because that's for me, that's what jewelry's about. That too.
Yeah. No, I'll always remember it.
Memories.
Yeah, that's a huge thing to remember.
Yeah. Anyway, Jamie, thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you for joining us on My Life in Charms. If today's conversation has inspired you to reflect on your own story, begin your Life in Charms journey at Annoushka.com or email bespoke@Annoushka.com. And don't forget to follow or subscribe to hear more extraordinary stories told in jewels.